Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. These podcasts are brought to you in part by our sponsors who really truly are what make these podcasts possible every week. O'Fallon Nutrition is a company that I've worked with for over 15 years. They're independently owned and operated, located here in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway K and Mexico Road. I call this place the Whole Foods of St. Charles County, but even if you are not located on this side of the river, it is still worth the drive. I can remember working all the way down at Powerhouse and still sending people out to O'Fallon Nutrition for their supplements. They are more than a supplement company. You can get grass-fed beef, salad dressing, seasoning for your cooking, hair care products, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste, essential oils, and all the vitamins and minerals that you can think of. If you're looking for clean, whole food nutrition, as well as home care, house care, skincare products, O'Fallon Nutrition is your place. You can take a look at them at o'fallonnutrition.com, or if you'd like to have something shipped, if you're listening to me from outside of St. Louis, you can certainly have items shipped. I know they do free shipping if it's an order over $50, and the phone number is 636-240-5283. Again, it's o'fallonnutrition.com. As well as if preparing your food on a weekly basis is your primary excuse for why you're not able to stay on a good, clean eating program, which is something that I hear very regularly from my clients, I would ask you to please take the time to check out Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are a phenomenal place. We get our food from there during the week. They deliver to our Integrity location. They will deliver to your house. They also are just available for pickup. You can go to their Chesterfield location or their Kirkwood location and just pick up meals for the day, as well as just having them delivered right to your door. So if preparing your food is your main excuse for why you cannot stay on a healthy eating program, then I would suggest just stop by Pure Plates. Just try it. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood sugar down, try to do Pure Plates meals for a week and just see how different you feel. These are organic meals. They are gluten-free. If you need them to be, they can be dairy-free. They are soy-free. You're not taking any processed sugars or meat-curing agents or preservatives. They really, truly believe in nutrient-dense meals that are just whole food nutrition. And I've had my clients, or I've made recommendations for my clients for years at Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com, or you can call them to ask questions at 636-778-3555. Again, remembering that they have a location in Chesterfield as well as in Kirkwood that you can just run by and pick up a meal today. Everyone always asks me where I get my meat from, and given that I really eat meat on a daily basis, typically beef primarily, my meat is very important to me. I have an autoimmune condition and I want grain-free, corn-free meat, and I just haven't found the confidence in stores in knowing that I'm getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I have searched and searched and searched for the right farm, and I have found the farm. It's fedfromthefarm.com, fed, F-E-D, from thefarm.com. These farmers are amazing. It's a family. They're here in Missouri, and they have the desire, just like I do, to see people well and to see people healthy, and they put a lot into what they do. It's such a wonderful family to support. They do offer 100% grass-finished, grass-fed, meaning that's it. A beef, and I get my ribeyes, I get my ground beef, my ground sirloin, I get my chuck roast. I mean, they basically have everything. They even have awesome jerky, but they also have eggs, they have chickens, and they have turkey. I'm planning on getting a turkey for Thanksgiving, and if you'd like lamb, they have that as well. But if you are in need of good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or quality eggs, chicken, turkey, don't just settle for what you're getting at the local store. to go out on the internet and check out Fed from the Farm. That you can arrange a pickup or you can have it delivered to your home. And I can guarantee you're going to taste the difference. For me, my health actually depends on it. So I really thank God to have found such a great farmer. Fedfromthefarm.com. I hope it blesses you.
Welcome to Faith, Fuel, and Fitness, the Integrity Way, with your hosts, John and Debbie Morris from Integrity Training Systems.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We always like to start our show talking about what it means to be a warrior. And what a warrior is a brave or experienced fighter. And a lot of times we kind of talk about either our own personal experience of what we're battling through, just so that everybody understands that they're not alone, or we'll talk about what some clients are battling through. So, Deb, this past week, what is some examples of warrioring that you've encountered?
Well, I think it's been like getting super excited, thinking that my health had improved enough to where I could get super creative with my food. And then I started thinking, okay, I'm going to design I'm going to bake myself something and design a recipe that, doesn't have any sugar in it. It doesn't have any, starch in it, but shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to eat this, no problem. And then it just completely attacked me.
I know it's always funny to me, like,
it's like an atomic bomb went off in my body.
I'm guilty of this as well, where I will complain about like what I can't eat, or I'll talk about like, I really wish I could have, this. And honestly, like from a physicality perspective, there's not a whole lot that I can't eat and physically be okay. Like if I have too much dairy or I have too much sugar, I can kind of lend myself to getting sick. I get respiratory issues very easily, so I can end up making myself sick. But as far as like weight gain or lethargy, things like that, it's not too bad, but it does affect my brain. Yeah. So a lot of times what I can't eat is more in line with neurology and just not upsetting my chemical balance with my brain trauma and the things I deal with. But the point of saying all of that is it's always funny to me when I'll start to complain and then I'm like, oh yeah, Debbie currently can't even have green beans because she's like in rotation of being allergic to those. Yeah. And then I always laugh because I'm like, what a road to walk. You sit in your office so many hours a day and listen to people complain, or even out on the floor listening to people complain about not getting to eat this, not getting to eat that. And I'm like, they don't even understand. It's like everybody just assumes you're robotic and that you're 100% in and you have no problem like not eating that stuff. But it's like, you used to like pizza. You used to like having drinks. You used to like having the stuff so like that. So it's like, it's like they never knew that part of you, so they just don't think that's a struggle for you.
Right.
Because you don't voice that, you don't talk about how much of a struggle it is.
Yeah, my niece, and she was making a banana nut bread a couple weeks ago, and just happens, just like in any job, you make a mistake, and so she just randomly made an entire batch of them, which makes 7 loaves, and didn't put the wet ingredients in. So there's no eggs,
Oops.
there's no applesauce, there's no maple syrup, there's nothing to sweeten it whatsoever.
Right.
And truly no liquid ingredients, but we use egg white protein powder. And so she baked these, and they were very, very dense and yet delicious.
Yeah, they almost look like a pound cake because it doesn't rise.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, they were good. I mean, and that's coming from someone who even like I'm a carnivore.
Yes.
Like sugar is in my blood. And it's like I even thought they tasted good.
So I just kind of thought to myself, well, that's probably my biggest trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and try these. The eggs were not in there. The maple syrup was not in there. The applesauce was not in there. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and try these.
Right, because the only sugar content would have been the banana that was mashed into it.
So I tried them and really kind of felt like, I did okay and everything kind of hung in there pretty good, and went, to bed and then woke up the next day, kind of felt like I did okay. And then I had a little bit more the next day. And then by that afternoon, I could tell that, maybe something was a little bit off, but and she had kind of checked me because I was already going to the doctor. She checked me for some things. And so, she said, I don't think it's that big a deal. I just wouldn't do a lot of it. And I said, okay, great. So I wasn't like I was going to plan on making it a 3 time, a day kind of thing. I was just going to do it once a week, maybe on the weekend or something like that. At the end of the day, it was just this very dense, it had a banana in it, had almond flour in it, had coconut flour in it, had some coconut oil, had some protein powder in it, right? Like it's just a really dense thing. And it's just protein and fat and a little bit of carbs. So I decide last night, okay, I think almond flour is probably my biggest culprit. That's probably, if I'm going to have issue, that's probably going to be what I'm going to have a problem with. So I decide I'm going to, make it a little bit differently last night. And oh my gosh, I just woke up today just feeling so bad. It was just so bad. It was like allergic reaction from head to toe. Everything in my body felt swollen, felt like someone stuck me with a pin and just started pumping me with air. And then it feels like the inside of my body is like a prickly, like a, I don't even know.
Cactus.
Like everything's just like that. Like something would be rubbing you on the outside, but instead it's on the inside, almost ready to poke through my skin. So obviously I'm not going to have any of that stuff for quite some time, but it's just frustrating because in your mind, you're like, wow, you've come so far and you're feeling so much better. And it's just so exciting. Like, let's just go ahead and experiment a little bit and kind of do something unique. All of the ingredients are perfectly clean. They're very well balanced. So you're like, why would I not be able to have that? Nope, not able to have that at all. And it is really everything I can do to even power through the day today because I feel so bad from it. But I guess my warrior, concept or mentality is that I just have to be okay with where I am in my life. And I have to keep fighting for more and more change for my health. I can't, when I say be okay, I'm not okay with the fact that I have issues. I'm always going to fight to try to overcome those issues and get better. But I just have to be accepting of the fact that I can't have the stupid banana bread.
Well, and you've got to come to a place where you're also thankful for not being where you were.
Right.
It's like you fought to where you are now.
Yes.
It's like you had a point in time in your life, and that's why you do what you do, where you were being told by over 20 doctors that you were going to die.
Right.
You couldn't walk. And it's like, okay, well, screw the banana bread. Like, I can't have banana bread, but I can walk.
Perspective,
So it's like we have to have perspective. But perspective helps so much with warrioring. And I'm not talking about like comparing situations like, well, their situation's far worse than mine. I'm talking about comparing your own situation.
Yes.
I'm talking about looking back in time. It's like right now I'm growing. I'm trying to put muscle on. 11 weeks ago, I was 220 something pounds. I was kind of depleted. I hadn't been working out. I couldn't feed my muscle because I hadn't been working out. Well, I'm 255 now. In 11 weeks, I put on 30 pounds. And that's not solid muscle. There's some muscle reinflation. There's some water to that. But I have a little bit of a gut right now. I've got a little stomach. And it's like, you're going to laugh me saying that. I told Karen that on Saturday, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that you have a gut. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I get it. But, it's like I've had a heart attack because I was 100 pounds overweight. Like your little ab cover you got right now, John, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we do that. We do that with our bodies. We do that with our minds. We do that with work. It's like we speak that so much. And we're going to talk about that in a later segment, but you can't let yourself speak that out loud. You can make your opponent even bigger by thinking about how hard they are, or thinking about how overwhelming it is. It's like you really got to go into it thinking like, I've been in worse, I can handle this. That's warrioring.
And I think like for me, it's like, okay, I just have to get up and put one foot in front of the other. Maybe I'll move a little bit slower today. Maybe my face will feel like it's a balloon floating through the air, full of, puffiness and kind of floaty, but I'm going to make it through the day. And then tomorrow is going to be a little bit better. And the next day is going to be a little bit better. And I'm not going to regret the fact that I tried something because there's wisdom in it. The fact that I tried it still shows me that there's still some things, still some triggers, still some histamine responses going on in the body. And I'm just going to take that as wisdom. And I'm going to find a way to fight through the day. Like, I'm not going to pull the covers up over my head and act like I can't do the day because, I have to do the day. I have a day that needs to be done. And so I guess there's that part to me that I feel like today I had to be a warrior. I had to say that there's just like, there are people that need me right now, and there are duties and tasks that I have that I have to be a part of today. So I don't really have the option to say, well, I don't like the way I feel or I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I've got to just be strong and get up and just fight through it. And I would say that, at Integrity, that's what we encourage people to do is to find their strength and to battle strong. Our nutrition program equips you to be able to do that. It balances your energy. It balances your mood. It stabilizes your brain. It just puts you in a position to where you have the ability to not be foggy every day, to really make good, clear, concise, focused decisions. Unlike, if I kept eating the way I ate last night with that, I would just be a hot mess,
right.
But if people are eating toxic foods, then that's what they're walking around as, a hot mess, and that's what we can help you with. We have a 6-month nutrition program at Integrity. We tell you exactly what to eat, where to buy it from, how to order when you eat out, all the things that you need to know for a healthy lifestyle. For more information, take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. If you're looking for gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods coming from my personal bakery to your doorstep, please take a look at sophiesbakery.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just finished up talking about what it means to be a warrior. And I was kind of talking about speaking things into existence and kind of talking about your mountain that's in front of you and potentially making it much larger than it is. And, you hear that saying that says, don't turn a molehill into a mountain, and it's like sometimes it's not a molehill. Like sometimes it actually is a mountain. And you can make it a bigger mountain. Yeah. It is something that you actually do need to tackle. But if you walk around talking defeated and talking about how hard it's going to be and you can't handle it, then you're probably right. A lot of battles are started and finished in the mind. And, I struggle with bipolarism, and I struggle a lot with chronic anxiety, panic-inducing panic attacks where you actually feel like you could be having a heart attack, and then, lows from depression that I will go through from time to time. And it's always fascinating because I've worked with different doctors and I've worked with different therapists, and one thing that's a commonality and is regularly recommended is to, when you're having these overwhelming things, like this day is going to be overwhelming, I can't take this on, is to write down a list and actually look at what you have to accomplish for the day. And if it's not overwhelming, try to speak yourself into believing that it's not overwhelming, because 9 times out of 10, it's actually probably not, for everybody. Whether you deal with a chemical imbalance like me or not, when you break it down, you can say, oh, well, I did this exact same day last week and I made it through it. Or, oh, I've done this in my past at some point and I made it through. And so I want to talk a little bit, Deb, about what it means to you to be able to speak yourself into a greater level of existence. And I want to talk about what it means for God to meet us at our level of expectation to our day. So talk to me a little bit about what you do to speak what you're thinking God has intended for you into your day.
I think to some extent, the lesson I've had to learn is that, if I don't expect great things, then, will they actually come into, existence?
Right.
If I'm just always in survival mode and just praying, God, save me, save me, save me. I'm sure he'll continue to do all that he can to try to save me. But he's also equipped me with his word, and in his word, it's so strongly put that I have victory. And I can have blessing, and I can have abundance, and I can have increase. I can have provision. I can have strength. I can have healing. All of these things are just listed that I can have. So it's my choice if I'm just going to stay stuck on, I need, I'm sick. I'm financially challenged. I'm having, issues with people, being deceiving. It's my my fault if I'm going to stay stuck on that, because I could find victory if I kept staying down that righteous path and reading, that scripture and staying kind of focused in that word. So I think for me, the way I have to spend my time is committing myself to that path and really like familiarizing myself with, what does God want us to do? Like, what is his agenda for today? Like, how is he equipping me for this day? If I get so focused on my plan, my thoughts, what I think I should do, you betcha I'm going to get overwhelmed. I'm going to probably feel like I'm having a panic attack because I don't even know if I can do all of that. But in his plan and his purpose and in his protocol, he makes it very clear that I can do all things.
Well, and you posted recently on social media that, God, what if God meets us at our level of expectation? And I just think that's good, because when you think about, like you just said, I like that thought process of I just have to get through the day, survival mode. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a later segment. But I just think that mentality can create a situation where you block your achieving greatness, because you're almost setting yourself up to be satisfied if you just survive.
Yes.
Your thought process is survival. So even though it may not make you happy, there is a mental satisfaction to just surviving the day. Like, okay, this morning I'm setting out just to survive. And I think there are days that's acceptable. I think there are days where there really is a few mountains in the day. And I think there are days that it's logical to be overwhelmed. But if you live your life like that and you accept that, you almost destine yourself for that, to be overwhelmed and to not achieve any level of greatness, to be on, we've heard it said multiple times before by clients, the hamster wheel of life. You're just spinning your wheels because any forward progress isn't even considered, because you're so wrapped up in just making it through your day. Whether it be that you don't enjoy your job, whether it be that you're stuck in some kind of relationship that you believe you shouldn't have been in. It's like, rather than setting out to work on these things, or maybe finding a different job, or how can I become a better significant other, you just think, I just got to push through this day and, we'll see what tomorrow looks like. But it's never going to be positive. It's never going to turn around without work.
And I think, there's a health perspective there too, is, God will meet you at your level of expectation. And I think some people just have the expectation that they're just going to be unhealthy for the rest of their life, that they'll never be able to connect with their food. They'll never be able to commit their ways to a healthy path or to a healthy pattern. And then they give up, they throw in the towel, they just keep eating bad food. They quit trying to find a new plan. They quit trying to find a new coach. They quit trying to find a new trainer. They quit trying to find a new doctor. And they just settle. They settle to be unhealthy and to not ever achieve what really is possible. And also, again, is perfectly clear in the word, that we should be able to accomplish for ourselves and for our body and for our health. But if we don't expect it and we're not chasing after it, will we ever accomplish it?
Yeah, I remember being just before I turned 26 and in my 26th year of life having a heart attack and just thinking with how crappy I felt, this is just what it feels like to get old in my mid-20s.
Right.
So people are walking around doing that, and I assure you that doesn't have to be the case.
It doesn't. I mean, we have 70-year-olds that we've turned their life around. I mean, I've just recently taken on a 70-year-old client, and I mean, she feels great.
Right.
She feels great. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better for her. Well, praise the Lord. I mean, that's amazing, right? Why not? Why not start getting better at 70? Who cares how old you are? That's what we help people do. We have a 6-month nutrition program. We will guide you all the way down the path, whatever it takes to get you into a healthy lifestyle and to help you to stay committed to that healthy lifestyle. For more information on that nutrition program or a meeting with one of our personal trainers for a free personal fitness assessment, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. And don't forget, if you'd like gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods that are nutrient-dense and delivered to your doorstep directly from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And our favorite farmer, fully grass-finished beef, delivered to your doorstep, fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just got done talking about the expectation of life and kind of setting yourself up for success and not getting caught up in the quote-unquote hamster wheel of just making it through your day. And, you know, that's part of what we do at Integrity is we help people through that. And it's kind of funny. I had a meme sent to me at one point in time in my life, and it was one of those ones that has multiple pictures. And it was talking about being a coach, being a personal trainer, or even a nutrition counselor. And this one was for a male trainer, and it said what I think I do, and it was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger flexing. And it was like what my mom thinks I do. And it was a picture of this guy, shooting himself with a needle with steroids, assumingly. And then it said what my girlfriend thinks I do. And it's this guy helping this girl stretch. And he's like very close to her, pushing her down. And then it says what I actually do. And it's a therapist sitting there with someone laying on a couch.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny because the practical application of that is when you're correcting your body to truly achieve health, you have to achieve health through the trinity of mind, body, and spirit. And if you just focus on the body, you usually you'll fail. You may lose some weight, you may get yourself in better shape, you may become more fit, but it doesn't usually last because you require the mind and the spirit to hold it in place. And what we do at Integrity is we become that team for you. And I think that having a team of like-minded individuals is very important. I mean, it talks about it in the Bible, and I think the application to today's world is even more meaningful because we just talked about on the break, our society drives people usually to be the opposite of healthy. And it's because as a society, especially in North America, we have attached a lot of what we do to food. You've had a bad day, so go eat something that makes you feel better. You've had a great day, so celebrate by eating something that you want to eat.
Yes.
We're getting together as a family, so eat something. We're going to go meet with friends, so let's go have some drinks. Like, it's all driven by that, to the point that if you have changed your life and started to address your health, you're almost told, like, are you sure you can't just have one? Are you sure you can't do this? So my question for this segment for you, Debbie, is how important do you feel it is to have a team, and not just in what we're talking about with health and wellness, but just in life in general?
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about my team, that helped me to get here. And, the first person that I talk about is the Holy Spirit, because I would be nowhere without that voice in the back of my mind guiding me down the path of everything that I do. But then the second person I talk about are my parents. I mean, they equipped me. They believed in me. They spoke faith into me my entire life, and I think about my daughter and how hard I work, to do the same exact thing for her. And then I look down the list and I think, okay, I have my husband and my daughter. So between my parents, the Holy Spirit, my husband and my daughter, that's my team. That's that's my first team. Okay. They're the first responders, right? Like, they are really keeping me, in the battle. They're making it to where I don't give up. And they're actually pressing me in to want to work harder and stronger and really fight for more change, because I want it for them too. I want to do it for them. But then I have a team of employees that work their hearts out, and they support the vision that God's given me for this incredible business of changing and saving lives. And I wouldn't be able to do what I do for a living if it wasn't for this incredible team of workers that just work their hearts out. I mean, I have people that come over to our house and do things, and they think that it's like the most piddliest, just simplest things that they're doing. They think it's like the low man on the totem pole job to do. But what they don't understand is it's honestly like the most important job of anyone and my staff, because what they're doing is allowing me to be able to do what I do, which ultimately really helps a lot of people and keeps our doors open.
I mean, we take that very serious with all of our employees. We always try to reward our employees well and take care of them, because the people who walk our dogs, the people who help us with things at our residence, the people who come in and clean the gym. I mean, when Debbie and I first started our fitness center, we didn't have that. Like, we did that. We cleaned the gym. We took out the trash. We had to do these extra things. And it takes away from our ability to have the reach that we have to help as many people as we do. We also didn't have the same staff or team of staff members as far as trainers go to be able to help more people.
Yes.
The reach was only what we could do around having to do the things to keep a facility functional. And so when someone comes in and assists with the functionality of the facility, they allow us not only to have the extra time with the people that we have, but to equip other people to do the same thing. So from the ground up, whatever you're doing, whatever part of the team you are, whether you're the quarterback or the water boy, you are important. Like, just remember that. And when you wake up every day, drive some meaning into your life. I mean, you have a position, whether it be in your life or your work, whatever it may be, for a reason. Like, if that position wasn't required, it would not be there.
I mean, and we try to tell all of our employees, but we try to tell, those people, especially, often how much we are thankful for them and how much we appreciate them. But then I have this team of people that, I have a mentor that very specifically helps me to scale our business. If our business needs to be taken to another level, if I'm going to have to achieve funding somehow, he doesn't give me any money, but he sits in front of me and is like, that is an insane idea. How do you plan to do that?
Right.
He has no problem looking at me like, I mean, if you can figure it out, that's great, but you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone that's done that. And then I'm like, okay, now I want to do it even more.
Yes.
But I have a person that for that. And then when it's time to renew the lease, I have this incredible mentor that it just pours into me, and I can go to him, and he sits and looks at the lease with me, and he looks at our numbers, and he says, okay, this is the situation you're in. This is how you have to renegotiate this. These people they don't realize, and I tell them every time I can, but they don't realize we are open because of those people. They made it possible. I mean, they believed in us and they supported us. But then you can go as far as to say, the doctors that I work with.
Correct.
Then you can go into the person that operates the cryo chamber that I get in 5 times a week. That person that keeps me in there for 3 minutes. That cryo chamber has been responsible for bringing a tremendous amount of inflammation out of my body. The person that puts the IV vitamin C in my arm. Like, these people are my team. They're equipping me to be okay, to be great, to be exceptional. Then you can even go as far as to say Ed Milet. I listen to Ed Milet how many times a week?
A lot.
I listen to TD Jakes how many times a week? Just the people, Pastor Jeff Perry, how often do I listen to him? Every single day. His daily messages, I listen to him every day. They don't know it, but they're on my team. And they're keeping me going.
And I think that what a lot
I'd
of people do. I think what a lot of people do is they don't realize that they need assistance in whatever realm they're in. I mean, when the check engine light comes on in your car, if you're not a mechanic, you know that you need to go to a mechanic and have them work on your vehicle.
Absolutely.
If you're walking around and the check engine light's on in your brain, find someone to help you.
Yes.
If the check engine light's on in your heart, you're gonna need to find someone to help you. You know, don't require catastrophe to build a team.
We had this. I have this one client that her back has just always gone out on her, gone out. I do her nutrition. You know, she didn't come to me to train. She didn't come to me for exercise. She came to me because she needed to lose weight and she was having issues with her body and her gallbladder, you know, and some different things. And then in the process, I'm like, okay, you need someone to deal with you from a structural standpoint, and you just start from here and then you work your way into strength training. Don't just go get some random gym membership and just start running the machines, because you're going to end up hurting your back. And that's exactly what she did. And she worked with, you know, our corrective exercise specialist that we have, and she's really turned things around with her, got her to be able to actually fire from her glutes, improve her posture, engage her core. So today, for the very first time, I was able to take her out on the floor and run her through a fairly standard protocol for strength training. But this was so meticulously built just for her. I even taught her how to go for the dumbbells.
Yeah.
How should your legs be positioned when you lean over to get the dumbbells? Because actually that would be the easiest way you will hurt your back in this entire workout. And so did she need a team? Yes. Are we going to try to do everything we can to keep that lady from hurting her back out over and over again? Of course. Was a massage therapist involved? Yes. Was a chiropractor involved? Yes. You know, we're all helping her get there. But one person wasn't doing it, you know, and it's so strange with exercise and nutrition. People are willing to follow some random magazine diet. They're willing to follow some random YouTube, and that's enough for them. No, spend some time, spend some money, put some effort into it. Have someone design something that is completely custom to you.
I think one thing that I talk about a lot is that we don't put enough precedence on our health.
Yes.
You know, when people talk about finance, you know, it's like, I can't really afford that. And there are times with life where you may be
totally
that you
been
absolutely
there before.
can't afford it. I get that. You know, I've had times where I've needed treatment and I couldn't afford it. And I mean, at one point in my life, I had to file bankruptcy. So I understand not having the finance for something.
Because of medical bills.
But
that's why you filed.
Exactly. So it's like,
you know, after having a heart attack.
Correct.
You know,
but it's like find a way to manufacture the change that you want in your life. Just like we talked about in the last segment, it's like you have to try to fight so that you can get this team of people to assist you, and you have to put your money towards it. You have to put your energy towards it so that you can be well. I mean, your body should be the most important thing in your life. Make yourself healthy.
Last week I had really bad news given to me, and it really upset me, and it hit me to the core. And I spent the entire day doubting my faith, doubting if I was in the will of God, doubting if I was doing the right thing. And I didn't reach out to anyone. I let myself sit there all day long and suffer and just doubt all day long. Then I had a meeting that evening with 3 people that were involved in this process. And they encouraged me so much that by the next morning, I was ready to take on the world. I was ready to change the world. I have scriptures all over my desk because they poured faith into me. They came up and laid hands on me. They prayed for me. They believed for me. They showed me where the enemy was trying to attack my mind. If they hadn't come in and rebuilt me, I'd probably still be doubting it all right now, you know, or maybe I would have found a way to encourage it, because I would have been, you know, going to Ed Milet and going to TD Jakes and going to Pastor Jeff, finding a way. You need a team. You can't go at this alone. No matter what we've talked about today, don't try to do any of it alone. For more information on what we can do for you at Integrity Training Systems through personal training and nutrition, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your doorstep from my personal bakery to you, take a look at sophiesbakery.com, and from our favorite farmer, fedfromthefarm.com, 100% grass-finished beef.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just got done talking about how important it is to have a team to help us through everything we deal with in life. A couple segments ago, we were talking about the expectation of making it through life, and we talked about not yourself down and not creating a situation where you believe you can't overcome a day. And you recently posted on your social media something along the lines of, sometimes your only success for the day will be not quitting. And I think that you could almost look at that as like, well, aren't you saying that your expectation is to just barely make it through the day then? And no, what we're saying is you should have an expectation to do something greater than just making it through the day. But if that's all that happens, you still have to recognize the success in that. So if a day comes where all of the mountains converge and you get stuck attacking the day, as long as you make it through it, go to sleep, wake up, and start the next day, now you can continue to create that expectation of moving forward into the greatness that you try to set up for your life. And I want to talk to you a little bit, Deb, about what you do each day to equip yourself to not give up so that even on those tough days, you can see the success of making it through.
Reminding myself, number one, why am I doing this?
Yes.
I mean, why am I not eating what I ate last night every day of my life? Because I can't feel like this every day of my life. There's no way. I can't live my life in slow motion.
Right.
I how many people's lives would be impacted if I did? Things would just shut down, right? So why am I doing this? Am I doing it for my daughter? That we have high expectations of our daughter. Why do we have high expectations of our daughter? Because God put those in our hearts for her, because he has something really big planned for her life. Like, it's mighty, and it is our job as her parents to equip her for that. And if we don't help her through, and if we don't show her that she could be something bigger and something better, we've failed at our job, right? So, you're reminding yourself of why you're doing the things that you're doing. And then you're also reminding yourself that God was pretty clear that trials and tribulations are going to come, but it's the perseverance that is what gets us to the prize, right? And if we choose that route of just continually remaining consistent and persevering, even when we're under trial, enduring hardship as a soldier, I think you win.
I talk about that a lot with clients. I say persistence over perfection.
Yes, I love that.
Because so many people think that they have to be perfect on something to accomplish the task. But even if you take it as far back as grade school, you don't require 100% to pass the grade. There's a threshold of too low to get by, getting by, and then really getting by. And I think that's the point we're trying to make, is see the success even on those days that you just get by, because it sets you up to be able to go further than that. And if you get hung up on perfection or the lack thereof, you can put yourself in a perpetual state of defeat. You have to get yourself set up to say, okay, well, this was a tough day or this was a tough situation, but I will persist through it so that I can continue on to what the next day holds for me.
And you also just have to find the good in your day. 3 minutes ago, I almost completely forgot what we were talking about because my husband smiled at me, and his smile could stop traffic.
Thank you.
It literally makes my heart skip beats sometimes. I don't care how bad of a life I'm having or how bad of a day I'm having or how bad my health is. I get to go home to him. He's my rock. He's the one that's got my back every day of my life. I have to choose, no matter what the circumstance is, to see that smile from across the room, and it's like a laser that goes right into my heart, and it's like it's pumping me with energy and saying, keep fighting, keep battling. That I have to choose to see those good things in my life. My dogs, when they first when I first come in the door, it's a hectic
Lord.
thing when you have 4 dogs, right?
It's violent.
So you could be, you could be like, this is so. But instead, I'm like, no, I will stop everything I'm doing, because how many years are they going to be here?
Right.
How many years am I going to get to do this with them? And maybe I had a
so
bad
excited
day,
to see ya.
but every night I get to go home to them.
Yeah.
Every day they're sitting there waiting for me.
Yes.
And I have that. If I have nothing else, I've got your smile. I have my incredible daughter. I have an amazing set of parents. And then I have 4 dogs that are always happy to see me. So you also really have to see the good in what you have. Maybe an employee will do something that I'm like, what were they thinking? But
Right.
then I'm like, but they're really hard workers. You know, they
Yes.
always show up on time. You know, they always look professional. And then I just start listing all
Yeah.
of these really great qualities. And then I'm like over it.
Yeah,
I'm over what
it's-
they did.
It's
you
funny
know?
because I'll even do it sometimes with our daughter. You know, she's 11, and I think not every, I think some parents know that they're, but I think most parents will say, "Oh, not my little angel."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you do not have a little angel. But like, our daughter is legitimately the best kid I've ever seen. I mean, she's so good.
Yeah.
And it's not fake. Like, she genuinely wants to do it, and not out of fear. Like, that's her part of her love language, is being a good kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, she just does all that she can do, even when she gets in trouble, which has happened probably 6 times in her 11 years. When you explain to her how she's going to be disciplined and what's going to happen, she's like, "You're totally correct.
Even
I
at
need
like
this to
age
happen
4, she's done
so that I
that.
can learn." Yeah, at 4, she's having this conversation with you. I've always had to like rein myself in when she's asked things, because I'm like, you are talking to a child, not an adult, because of how she's always been. But here recently, we just dealt with something where she was dealing with, you know, using an iPad more than we wanted her to, and she was instructed not to do it, and she still did it. And so she had the iPad taken from her, and she was like, you know, I don't even know what I was thinking when I did that. I could see how that would be disrespectful. I promise it was not my intention. I'm like, this is my 11-year-old talking, right? She's like, I totally think you should take it from me. And I think a month absolutely makes sense. She's like, I can color and do my crafts, and I need to do more stuff like that anyway. I mean, that's how she talks. My point in saying all of this about our daughter is to say, sometimes she'll do something and I'll get so mad or so irritated inside of my mind, like, why would she do that? Like, why would she think that's okay? And I have to take a step back and check myself and be like, look, dude, if as a dad, that's your biggest
issue,
concern on or hang up on
Yeah.
what she's done, you are really okay. But I think sometimes, to your point, we can get ourselves in such a state where we're so hung up on the anxiety of a moment or on the difficulty of a situation, or maybe there's so many other things hanging in the air that we're struggling to deal with, that even the smallest of situations can feel overwhelming or difficult or hard.
Yeah.
And you do just have to take a step back and be thankful. I mean, sometimes it's just being thankful, even if you hate your job, for having a paycheck until you can find the next thing you're going to do.
Absolutely. Or, you know, just the fact that, you know, I'm able to walk, where at one point in my health, I wasn't able to walk. You know, yeah, sure, maybe the food made me feel bad today, but I'm going to work through it. I'm going to find a way to get through it. I'll get better. But one thing I can just say is find the good in the day. See your family, see the blessing that you have because you have that family. See your faith and feel, you know, what if you don't have a family? What if you don't have anyone? What if you're all alone? You're not. You know, you have the Lord. And he is with you in everything that you do, and see the blessing in that. See the blessing that you don't have to carry it all alone, that he's helping you carry it. But if you're really struggling to see how you can ever come out of an unhealthy lifestyle, you have to equip yourself with a team of people that can help you. And that is what we do at Integrity. We have a 6-month nutrition program. We have personal trainers. We would love to help you. For more information on what we do at Integrity, please take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For nutrient-dense, gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your doorstep from my personal bakery, go to sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-finished beef from our favorite farmer to your doorstep, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com. Thank you all for listening. It's just a blessing to be on this station. We love the station. We're just really honored to be able to present the data that we do, and we pray that it plants a seed of hope and health in your life. God bless you.